We're cooking. We're cooking.
Tonight we got a fresh baguette, French loaf baguette, kind of thin so there's not as much bread. We got marinated steak, top sirloin that's been in the refrigerator for 2 days. We got fresh onions, fresh peppers. We got fresh grated mozzarella, and we're gonna saute it up, and then we're gonna put all that grated cheese on top, and we're gonna put it in the little toaster oven and broil it so it just melts it, and it just makes it perfect. Perfect. All right, you guys, this is one of the most important things about your sandwich that you're gonna make. It is the bread. Let me just tell you, the meat's important and marinate it and you'll be fine. But the bread, everything's built on this bread. I love the French baguette because it's not very thick. It's pretty thin, so when you slice it, so you're gonna get less bread and you're gonna get more flavor in every bite. And the bread's gonna be crispy on the outside. It's gonna be light and fluffy on the inside. Just look at this baguette. All right, meat preparation. The day before, or 24 hours, 48 hours, a day or two before, get your meat and go ahead and get the leanest cut you can get. I use top sirloin most of the time just because I can get it really lean. I like center cut top sirloin. You can find it cheap. Well, relatively cheap. Nothing is cheap out there, okay? Just don't get me wrong there. But I found it at Aldi's for $6.69 a pound. They're gonna give you a thinner piece, but you're still gonna cross cut it and just cut it thin. So it really doesn't matter. So I use that one and marinate it for a couple days or a day or two in your favorite marinade, and then use a very good pan. Don't use a 6 or 8 inch pan. Use like a 10 or 12 inch pan if you have one, and make sure that it heats even. And you're gonna heat that up with butter and a little bit of oil, and you can also put some garlic cloves in there. I didn't this time, but it's always a good idea. And then make sure it's hot when you drop that meat down so it starts searing immediately. So it's gonna sear it on both sides. Doesn't take very long. And then I'm gonna take the meat out, and then I'm gonna put my vegetables in because I like to keep my vegetables a little bit crispy. If you like your vegetables completely soggy, go ahead and leave them in after you put the meat in. Cook it for maybe one to 2.5 minutes, and then put your vegetables in and cook it all together. I don't do that. I like a little crunch on my veggies. All right, so that meat's in there. It's gonna cook for just a couple of minutes now, and it's gonna cook really fast. You're not gonna have to worry about it. Then you're gonna add the vegetables. And this is where you want to season those vegetables good. Use any kind of seasoning salt, or just use S&P, maybe some paprika and some garlic salt if you got it. I use the seasoned salt on there, and they make sure you do that. Now, my meat was already done, so I went ahead and took it out because the vegetables are going to cook a little bit longer, and I'm going to cook them to crisp perfection. And learn how to toss that. It's very simple, especially if you have a higher rimmed skillet. Add a little water to keep it moist and keep that steam going. And then don't forget, if you got mushrooms like I did, mushrooms got to come in last because they will cook like that. They'll take about a minute to a minute and a half at the most, and then they're done. And then I put the meat back in, mix it all together, and it's ready to put that sandwich together. Now go easy on cooking all these vegetables in the meats because this sandwich is going to get heated up under a broiler for just, maybe 3 minutes, 3 to 3.5 minutes, something like that, until the cheese melts. So don't cook everything to smushy or it's going to be mushy. So coming up, when you put this sandwich together, you have options. I chose mayonnaise as the base. You can do mayonnaise on both sides, one side. I just like it one side. Sometimes I do both sides. Also, if you want to add banana peppers to this sandwich, you can. I didn't this time. Half the time I do, half the time I don't. But this will be the time to do it. Add it right for the mayonnaise. Then you got banana peppers. Then you're going to put your meat on there. And you're going to pile it high with cheese. You're going to put that in the oven. And you're going to put it I like to use toast. So it's heating it from the bottom, which is keeping everything hot. Heat your bread up. And it toasts down from the top, which is going to melt the cheese. And I put it on a little small cookie sheet or whatever size cookie sheet. If you're in a full-size oven, put it in a regular cookie sheet so you don't get too much heat from the bottom because the bread is protected from the meat and all the cheese is on the top, and it's going to melt. And when you get it out, it's still going to be crispy. It's going to be soft bread, and you're going to fold that together. Yes. Watch this. That marinated steak, the mushrooms, the melted cheese, the onions, the peppers, a little bit of seasoning on there, and then the mayo, just in that fresh bread. That's a fresh baguette from the local bakery. That one is a winner. I could eat this for lunch every single day. I'm Summertime Kev in Poppy's Kitchen. You're watching delicious feel-good foods and recipes on YouTube. I'll see you guys on the next one.